Hello everybody and welcome back to Satisfactory 1.2. Okay, in the last episode we got phase 1 completed. As you can see, we got the space elevator built there and we were able to produce smart plating and we're able to complete phase 1. And we got our starter base set up with iron production over here, copper production over here, and then we also have our biofuel power plant over here as well. And then we also moved the hub here with our equipment shop and the MAM here as well. And then we also got the awesome sink and we also got the rebar gun, which is awesome. But yeah, I do want to apologize for the last episode. I was definitely confused about belt speeds. So the Mark 1 belts, they do 60 items per minute and the Mark 2 belts do 120 items per minute. And so but the design that we did for the reinforced plate and rotors is still valid. It's just I was confused and wrong about the belt speeds several times, so I do apologize for any confusion. I tried to rectify that with just putting text boxes in the video to kind of like avoid that confusion there. So anyways, so my goal for this episode is to get coal power up and running so we can have fully automated coal power going. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop to it. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and like the video and also subscribe. When you subscribe, it not only helps me out, but it also helps you out to know when new content is available. So before we proceed any further, there's a couple things, kind of house chores I want to do. First of all, I want to put a splitter here. And again, if you just look at the belt and you have a splitter, it should go over it like this. The only problem is it doesn't seem to want to snap to the grid, but that's okay. We'll just try to align it to the center here as best as possible. And then I want to make and then I want to put, essentially what I want to do is split up the reinforced iron plate and have half of them go into smart plate production, but I also want to save the other half so we can build like Mark II belts and machines that require the reinforced plate. So let's see, I think if we could put it like right here and move our belt. Also, another thing I forgot to mention, I did put a text box in the last episode, is you can change the belt shape mode. So right now we're in default, but if you push the R button on your keyboard, you can do straight. So that gives you more like a 90-degree straight belt. And then curve, you know, this is pretty much the spaghetti noodles, or rather it's just, it makes your belt curved, hence the name. So yeah, you got straight, curved, default. Normally I do straight a lot because it just makes the belts look more crisp. So I usually just go for straight unless I have like a machine or something misaligned and it just doesn't line up perfectly. So if you find yourself where the belts are not aligned perfectly, just try pressing the R button a couple times to see if the belt will then cooperate with you. But you know, this game is a little bit finicky about stuff, so if you get easily frustrated about alignment stuff, you're definitely not alone there. Okay, I also want to put a splitter here and a cargo container. I should just put the cargo container on my hotbar here. We'll make it 0, and then we'll just spin this around, make sure it's aligned to that splitter there. So essentially I want to store half my rotors and half my reinforced iron plate, while the other half goes into the production of smart plating. So that way we can continue, because we need 1,000 plates, right? And we have only produced 24 smart plates. So I want to keep going with the smart plate production because that's going to take a long time to fulfill that phase 2 requirement there. Also, another thing I want to change is this over and under that I got going on here. So Mostly because we don't need it, right? Because what we could do is just connect our Mark II belt, which again, if you want to switch from Mark 1 to Mark 2, push the E button and that will allow you to switch belts. And then, yeah, we're able to snake our Mark II belt into here. And is this Mark II as well? Yeah, that's Mark II. So yeah, we don't need the conveyor lift. We could just directly attach the belt there. So yeah, that was my bad as well. Also, I want to change this to Mark 2. So you can do that by just hitting the belt button, which is 3 for me. And then you should just be able to look at it. Yeah, here you go, Mark 2. And now everything's Mark 2. So now we should be getting 80 screws here in these two machines. And then we're getting another 80 here. But as you recall, we only need 60 here. So we're getting 20 screws in excess. But because we only have 80 screws going in here and the rotors need 100 per minute, what we need to do is connect these together just like so. Same thing with the rods over here. And this works for now until we can get smart splitters, which, by the way, we didn't find cadmium in the last episode. So this episode, we want to find some cadmium so we can unlock things like the zip line thing and also the smart splitters. Because the cadmium lets you get more advanced tech. So another thing I want to do before we go off exploring and stuff is I actually want to kind of expand this out. So what I want to do is put the hub in a more permanent position. Putting it in the central location, it works, but you'll see what I mean when I have this all built out. Yeah, so I'm thinking about putting my hub right next to the space elevator here so I can access the controls. You know, I just have everything centered around here. All right, and I also moved the equipment shop and the MAM here as well. So now, you know, I have everything in one location. This may actually end up being a bad idea because we're going to want to build machines that allow us to build these phase 2 components next to it. But we got all this real estate here where we can do that. Okay, and then I also have like storage containers here so we can store any excess stuff that we want to save. We could put the DNA capsules in there. We could put our quartz in there. And also put the power shards in there. I'm going to keep some of this stuff. Speaking about the quartz, if we go to the MAM again, we go to quartz. I want to unlock this 6 more inventory slots. So I'm just going to make a constructor here. I'm going to put a container here. I'm going to switch, set the recipe to this to silicone. I still don't know why it won't show me silicone on this, but I'll just, or silica. I don't know why I'm calling it silicone. All right. And then we want to attach a belt here. We'll get our quartz. So we do have 155, so we only need 50 in production here. All right, so just connect power there. And yeah, now we should be ready to make silica. So there I go again, saying silicone. All right, now we'll just automatically feed into our constructor here. Yeah, we're missing out on a lot because we don't have cadmium yet, so definitely want to be getting some cadmium. We can also get the quartz crystals. That gives us new shop products. And we only need 20 for that. So let's actually grab some and do that. All right, so that unlocked the
research completed.
Crystal oscillator.
Crystal
and then we also have the explorer, which is like a little vehicle we can get. All right, so we should have enough silica to unlock this inventory slots. Nice. All right, before I go do some exploring, I'm just gonna store our silica in here, And we'll just produce as much silica as we can from the quartz that we have. I think that's all the housekeeping stuff I wanted to do. How's our power plant doing? Is everything going 100% yet? No. So we still got machines going idle on our power plant. So, and that's kind of the drawback with the manifold design here. So there's two different designs. You have the manifold design that we have here, and then there's also load balancer. So just by looking at these two burners with one splitter, this is a load balancer. But when you connect multiple machines like this, or I should say if you connect multiple load balancers in series like this, then you have what's called a manifold. Essentially what happens is, like, let's say we're getting like 100 biofuel here a minute. So what's going to happen is this is a three-way split, right? So 33 will go here, 33 will go there, and then 33 will come out here. And then this does a three-way split, so 33 divided by 3, that's 11. So 11 goes here, 11 goes there, and then 11 goes here, and then you just continue splitting it up. And that's why it takes forever for the machines on the end of the manifold to kind of ramp up, because essentially what has to happen is these machines have to get full, which they are right now, and then we have to wait until these machines get full, and then we got to wait for these machines to get full, so that way we can actually have enough resources to sustain the operations of the machines here. And I usually use the manifold design more than I use the load balancer design. I think the only time I really use the load balancer, like just pure load balancer, not like a manifold like this. Well, I mean, we're using this is kind of load balancing here, but like you use it a lot at train stations where you want to evenly distribute the resources in each of the train cars, right? So that's where I find the load balancer design to be the most useful. Yeah, so if you cut these things down, you get mycelia,
The fruit of this fungus,
which I also forgot.
does not seem
Yeah, so we need the mycelium so we can do things like fabrics, so that way we could build like parachutes and whatnot. If we want to start jumping off cliffs, you'll definitely want a parachute, but... Alright, we're just going to fill these back up. That way we're producing biomass and biofuel, and that way these machines, our power plant will be able to run. Got a Mercer sphere up here. Looking at the map, this is where that Mercer sphere was, and I'm being attacked. All right, so here is where we have, oh, it's not cadmium, it's caterium. So we have a caterium node here, but we can't put a miner on it yet until we can get a Nautilus to blow this stone off of it. But what we can do is use our portable miners, and you can place some of these down on the caterium. And then we'll just collect some caterium. Also, these little trees give you mycelium as well as like wooden leaves. And I think it's called mycelia, not mycelium. Yeah, mycelia, not mycelium. Cadmium, caterium, same thing. Mycelium, same thing. I just love giving things my own esoteric names, you know? Alright, we should have got some caterium now. Huh, interesting. So Ada doesn't want to tell us about caterium. I swear we haven't gotten caterium yet, but oh well. And also, so this is where that caterium deposit is located on the map. Ooh, we got another cave here. So here's where the cave entrance is. Pretty sure we're gonna find some stingers in here. Maybe. Does this even go anywhere? No. Awesome. Awesome. Glad I did it. Glad I explored this. All right, we got some coal here. I want to definitely collect some of this. All right, so this coal node is located here on the map. And this is actually where we're gonna place our steel factory. Once we get our coal power plant done. We're not going to use this coal for the coal power plant, just because like getting the water up here is going to be difficult. So there's another location, a better location where there's near the ocean that's going to have plenty of water for us to make the coal power plant. Yeah, and whenever you see cracked walls like this, it's very Zelda-y, but you'll need a Nautilus or Nautilus, not a lie, not a lie, to blow those up and gain access to whatever behind that cracked wall. All right, let's go ahead and collect this coal that we collected or mined. That's a monster spitter. I use the rebar gun to take care of them, but there's no point in me getting that guy. But now I'm about to show you why we got the rebar gun. All right, so here's where we're at on the map. And what I want to do is open up the build menu. Make sure the ladder's pointed to us. We're going to build a tower up here. And we're going to climb up the tower really quick. So as you can see, we got a enemy down there who likes to spit rocks at you and stuff like that. Really dangerous. So we're just going to stay on the tower here and shoot him with the rebar gun. If I can learn how to shoot. So yeah, you can actually distract them as well using the rebar gun, because as you can see, it was curious as to what hit it. Yeah, so you kind of have to guesstimate the drop on this. Fortunately, it lets you know if you hit them or not with the little whoop sound. I think it takes about 10 hits to get this guy. He's not moving, so let me see if we got him. Yeah, we got him. At least they give you 5 hog remains there. All right, so this is already operational, so we can just open up the door here and grab the hard drive out of it. Then we also got some steel related products. So we got the encased industrial beam. We got some reinforced iron plate. We got stators, which will come in handy later. And then we got this steel beam. We're going to use that steel beam or these steel beams to open up another hard drive. Also, whenever you find wreckage like this, you can actually salvage it. So if you just hit E button, your dismantling menu, you can just dismantle these. Make sure you get the hard drive out before you dismantle the drop pod or the crash pod. And that gives you some resources, some more resources. All right, we could go ahead and dismantle this. All right. So let's head over here where that other hard drive that we found was. We just needed the steel beam to open it. Now that we have the steel beam, we can open that one. All right, here's the other drop pod, or the wreckage, I should say. And we got ourselves another hard drive. So just be aware when you're collecting the hard drives and then scanning them in the MAM, just be aware that it's only going to unlock alternative recipes depending on what phase and tier you are on. So if you haven't completed like a tier for like steel production and you try to scan the hard drives, it won't give you like alternative recipes to use steel products. So just be aware of that. That's something that I made a mistake on early on in the game, and it's like, oh, now I got to find a bunch more hard drives just so I can get this alternative recipe that I need for my factory design. Also, it would be a good time since we're finding these power slugs. So blue power slugs, they make one power shard. The yellow ones, they make 2 power shards, and then the purple ones, they make 5 power shards. And we want power shards in order to be able to overclock our machines. So that way we get a more balanced production. There's another Mercer sphere up there. That's on a cliff. I don't know if I can get up there or not. So another thing we can do if we can't reach high places is just to use the build stuff. So by holding down Alt and then using your mouse scroll wheel, you can switch out the hot bars. And so on hotbar 2, we got our base building materials. And so what you could do is start making ramps that will get you to high places. So I'm just going to start the ramp like all the way on the top here. There we go. Now we should be able to access this Mercer sphere that's up here on the cliff. Probably going to be an enemy up here. Nope. And you can either leave the ramps there or dismantle them. I just leave them there because I'm lazy.
Please assess yourself.
All right, another Mercer sphere here on the map. All right, we're at the dried up riverbed area, and we got another Mercer sphere up here as well. If you're quick, you can avoid the enemies. And you can save up on ammo for your rebar gun. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I keep forgetting. So I'm here in this area where that Mercer sphere was. Now we can grab the Mercer sphere that is here on the map. Industrial beams here. Ooh, we got computers. Holy crap, there's 3 of them. All right, so in order to access this hard drive, we need 100 megawatts. So we can make some biofuel. Ooh, we got rubber. All right, so we just need to be a little quick. Connect this to power. It's getting annoying that I keep hitting E instead of F for the interact. See, how's our power plant doing? Oh, okay, these are pretty much ramped up now. But we're not making any more biomass, so we'll have to get some more leaves and wood. All right, let's go to the MAM. And yeah, so here we got Caterium. Start researching that.
The metal has been named.
Okay, we can unlock the ingots now, but we need ingots for this. So
Research completed.
all right, so we need Caterium ingots. So what we want to do is build a smelter. We'll align a storage container there and then hook those up. We'll have the recipe be Caterium ingot, and we'll just put our Caterium in there. We'll nab some power here. And these are all temporary. These are not like permanent things. I'm just building a smelter in case we need like ingots made from Caterium. And then I have this constructor here if we want to construct other things other than silica. So we need 50 Caterium ingots for the MAM. We could also unlock black powder now. So that will allow us to make the Novelist detonator and the Novelist. And we need steel pipe for that. So we did collect some steel pipe from exploring. So we got some there. And then we just need cable, but we also need to produce black powder. All right, we should have enough Caterium ingots now. We can unlock this. The Caterium wire or quick wire. We also get new shop products, so that's nice. We haven't made a shop yet. Okay, so now we can do a couple things here. We can unlock the zip line, or we can unlock the deuterium electronics. So that just costs 100 deuterium wires. So what we could do is remove this, get a constructor. Here, let's remove this belt as well. Build a constructor. And instead of silica, we want that to be quick wire. And we'll put our quick wire into this storage container. And this guy needs power, so let's give it some power. There we go. Now we should be producing some quick wire. Have mycelia, so we can research that.
And
then we could get fabric.
These fungi possess unusual.
So we need to unlock mycelia, especially if we're going to be producing a nuclear power plant like we are, because that'll give us the anti-radiation suit. And also, I believe it does. Yeah, I think it gives us the anti-radiation suit. And then also just so we don't get zapped with radiation as much. So let's unlock the zip line. The zip line actually comes in handy, even though it's a bit finicky. And we could unlock this as well. Yeah, so here we got the smart splitter. So it's going to be a while for us to get smart splitter since it's all the way down here. Okay, we got another 100 quick wires, so we should be able to unlock whatever this is. This will give us. All right, so that unlocked the AI limiter, the power pole Mark IIs, and the high-speed connector. So that's pretty much all we can do for now, I think. So there's a yellow power slug up here, so let's see if we can get up there and grab it. Very nice. But I also want to start producing copper sheets. So what I'm going to do is actually remove this and then change the recipe here. Instead of wire, we're going to do copper sheet instead. And then we'll store that here. We need copper sheet. There we go, copper sheets going. And another thing we could do is do this. Put another storage container on top, and then we can use a conveyor lift. And this will, and so that way we can continue making copper wire, and it'll go up into this storage container now. We could do the same thing with the cable as well. Until we get the industrial storage containers. Ooh, another Mercer sphere. Ow, ow. All right, we got another Mercer sphere here. Here it is on the map. Definitely want to collect as many of these as you can as well. They will help you out in the future. All right, so we got the sulfur node here. Let's lay down some portable miners and grab some sulfur. So the sulfur node is here in this part of the map. So you just follow this river up here. All right, this Mercer sphere is here on the map. So next to that sulfur deposit, just in this like little cave area here. Or a large cave area, actually. All right, we got plenty of sulfur now. So we should be able to unlock the Nobelisk thing. And maybe we can... And maybe we could craft a couple of Nobelisks so we can get some stuff. Okay, we need to make some black powder first.
Detonator and basic.
We could probably get that
unlocked.
too. So we can actually also craft up some Nobelisks, which is great. Oh, so in order to make the Nobelis, you need the steel pipes. so that makes sense. So at least we got some steel pipe left over to make them.
Tool belt expanded. I compounded sulfur's tristatic atom matrix into a quadrimensional gate vortex. You can now carry more stuff.
Say what? Let's do jump pads here just for the sake of completing. Okay, that's jump pads done. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and unlock coal power. I actually forgot to go through these tier things with you, but now that phase 2, we have tier 3 and tier 4 unlocked. So now we can do coal power. We can do vehicle transport, which gives us the tractor and truck station. And then we also get steel production with this, as well as a component that we need to complete phase 2, which is the versatile framework. It also gives us the foundry. We need the foundry to, make the alloys that we need, which is the steel, combining coal and iron together. You can also get this enhanced asset security, so you can get the Xeno Basher, 1 hand equipment slot and 3 inventory slots. I actually kind of want to do this one, so we'll do that one before we try to do the steel production. Not steel production, the coal power plant. We'll do steel production after we're done with the coal power plant. All right, so in order for the Nobelisk to work, we need the detonator, so we need an object scanner, which that's easy to produce. And then we need 10 steel beams. We should have from exploring. So now we can craft the detonator. Nice. So now we should be able to put the detonator in our hand here. Also going to put the rebar gun in there. I don't really need these nut things. All right, enhance asset security, ready for launch. All right, let's go ahead and build a Xeno Basher now. We also got more inventory slots, and we got another tool belt slot as well. So now we got 4. So now we can put our Xeno Basher in here. And let's do chainsaw. That's pretty much like a lightsaber now. Okay, let's go ahead and get coal started. Coal power started. All right, coal power done. Okay, so now we got the coal power. We got all these pipes. We got the pipes unlocked here. Which is very nice. And we also got the coal power generator unlocked now. It requires 10 reinforced iron plate, 10 rotors, and 30 cable. And we also got the water extractor, which needs copper sheets, reinforced iron plate, and also rotors. So that's why we need the copper sheets, because we need the water in order to do our coal power plant production. All right, so now what I want to do is just grab as much iron plate and concrete that I can, and I want to go over to the where we're going to be building our full power plant now. All right, let's go out and get our coal power plant, at least the foundation set up here. All right, so this seems to be the best way to get down to shore. All right, so to break through these, I think you can use the chainsaw. And now we can access the power slug. Okay, so in this area, we got 2 coal nodes and also some enemies that I need to deal with. There we go. All right, so we got pure coal node here and a pure normal one here. We could probably use these 4 foundations. So if we do it like this, we're placing things on the world grid. Yeah, let's do it like this. So we're not going to put our power plant on the world grid. It doesn't need to, because it'll be independent. Well, we'll have that go all the way down there like that. Now that we have our foundations aligned like this, we'll have to make sure to keep it aligned like this for the power plant. And actually, maybe what I want to do is come here a little bit more. And then, yeah, that would be better. Do it like that. And we could get rid of these. Then hopefully we could put our Mark 1 miner here. Yep. Maybe we could do like this. We'll just put one more foundation like that. Cool. And we'll just do that. So I'm just gonna do like come out here all the way out here, because I don't actually know how much space we'll need. And we'll just use like the 2 foundation. So we'll just start the power plant out like this. So what we're building is going to be essentially the logistics floor. And on top will be where the actual generators will be. So we'll have another level where the generators will be, and then this level will be for like the pipes, the splitters, the logistics stuff, essentially. And it probably doesn't need to be 10 by 10 like this. I'm just doing it for now. So we just want to get kind of close to the ocean here. Actually, we could probably measure this a little bit. Apparently I can't slide jump going uphill, which kind of makes sense. So this takes up like okay, so this takes up about 3 squares of foundation. So I'll probably want, and then I want like another square of space for logistics stuff. Actually 3, so we'll probably want to put like our splitters here for coal and whatnot. And then I want another, and then more splitters and pipes on here. So, which means I need to go out one more on the foundation here. It wasn't even wide enough. All right, so using the Mark 1 miners for this normal node here, we can get 60 per minute, but because this is pure, this makes 120, so we could do 180. But a Mark 1 only supports 60, which is how much this miner produces, and the Mark 2 is 120. So we can't just merge it all into one belt. So we'll need 2 separate belts. How come this doesn't tell us how much coal it needs? Alright, so remove that. Alright, so since one miner can give enough coal for 4 generators, and then a pure node Mark 1 can give enough power for 8 generators, we can build 12 generators in total for now, until we can like overclock these and then make more coal generators. But yeah, it looks like 12 generators is all we can do now in here. I want to create my top floor here. So So you can, if you press R and go into vertical mode, you can go into vertical mode just like this. Now I'm just going to do 20 meters should be enough, right? 4 times 5, 20 for top side. That actually may be too much, but we'll also put like, so we'll use the 1 meter foundation for our top side here. Actually, let's trim it down 1 here. That should probably work out better, mostly because of the pipes. The pipes, in order to pump things up vertically, you essentially need, or the pipes, in order to pump something up vertically, you need pumps. So, and I think the pumps, okay, yeah, so for the Mark 1 pump, fluid pump, the max is 20 meters, so we don't want 20 meters here. So I think 1, 2, 3, 15 meters is good enough. So we should be able to pump our fluid up there using the Mark 1 fluid pumps. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and build out the topside platform, and I'll see you guys when that's all done. All right, we got the topside foundation all built out. We're very high over the water. So let's see about putting these generators down now. So I'm going to use H to keep the hologram there. And I'm just going to use the arrow buttons to nudge it in the position I want. So I want it exactly over 1 square foundation there. Or it's a 4x4 meter foundation. So that's 4 meters. And then this is fine right here. So as long as we got the 4 meter on each side here, that should be good. So we'll build that generator, and we'll do exactly the same thing on this side. Just nudge this so that it lines just like that. And actually, I may want to give this another square of space here. So let's remove this one, and I just want to give it 1 more 4 meter here. There we go. That's nice and aligned. Okay, so for now, at most, we can only build, what was it, 12 generators? So we could do, so our normal node with a Mark 1 miner can give us enough coal to run 4 generators. And then the peer node, which will give us 120, can do double that, so 8, so 12 in total we can do. For now, until we can overclock. But overclocking, we could probably actually overclock, yeah, we can actually overclock the normal node so we get 120 instead. And so then now we could do 16 generators. So let's actually do that. So that's what we could support right now, given that we only have the Mark II belts and then the Mark 1 miners, and with overclocking. So yeah, let's do 16 then. I also forgot to grab some copper sheets. We need these for pipes and whatnot. Okay, our coal generators are now ready. Okay, so I believe a water generator produces about 120 cubic meters per second or per minute. So therefore we need 3 water pumps for 8 of these. We'll have 3 water pumps feeding into these guys, and then 3 water pumps feeding into these guys. We could probably remove some of this for now, save on foundation materials. But we'll keep it open for now, just so we can, in case later we need to expand. Also, while I'm here, be a good idea to start putting in pipe logistics. So we'll do pipe, and then we'll do the junction. Oh, there's also a T-junction. I don't think... so this has to be new, because I think we've always ever had the pipeline junction, not the T-junction. And then, yeah, we'll want the water pumps for sure. I'm going to put the support on 4, and then the water pump on 5. Okay, so I want to go down to the beach here. And we actually wanted to come out one more foundation here. So let's do that. So that doesn't look weird with floating foundations. We'll just do this. And let's get some ramps here so that it's easier to get up here. And I'm going to remove these. And then just move them over here. Very good. All right, so we want our water pumps or water extractors down here. So let's see what we can do. Let's use the 3 foundation. We'll do vertical again, like so. We'll do the same on this side. And then let's just use 2 foundation again. Let's just bring it out a little bit further from the water bring it out a little further out in the water here. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Oh, we need to get rid of that copper. Copper's in our way. I'm also kind of curious. So each coal generator should produce 75 megawatts. So if we have 16 running, we get 1.2 gigawatts. So that should definitely hold us up quite a bit, or keep us going for quite a while. And I think we actually want to come out a little bit further so we're not like hitting these rocks here. All right, and I'm just going to do that. I want to get as close to the water as I can, so that should put us pretty close to it. All right, so let's look at water generator or water extractor. Okay, so each of these produces 120 cubic meters of water per minute. So if we do the calculations here, if we did 360 divided by 45, that gives us 8. So if we did, so that would be 3 water extractors. So yeah, 3 water extractors for each side of our power plant here. What I want to do is make sure they're aligned with this foundation here. So let's see. We'll do that. And then we can put our water extractors on each side here. Now let's get our water extractor. So we'll put one right there. One right there, and one right there. So that'll power that. This will be enough water for these 8 generators up here. And then we just need to do the same thing on the other side. All right, there we go. 3 water extractors for these 8, and 3 water extractors for those 8. So now here comes the fun part of, which is to add the piping here. But now that we have those T-junctions, this should be a little bit easier. So now we can use the T-junction here. And still doesn't seem like you can align it. See, what we should have done was align these pipes here with it here, but it doesn't need to be perfect. So as long as we get it close enough, it should be fine. I can stand here. I actually think we can nudge these. Yep, I think that's going to be the best we can do. Do the same thing, use H, and we'll just nudge it. Line it up. That actually looks pretty lined up. Okay, now we could start adding pipe here. Okay, and now we just need to do this on this side now. All right, both sides have pipe connected to them. Now we just need to get the pipes over here to our logistics floor, which is the first floor beneath the generators. Let's do that. All right. Now, what I want is the holes, the pipe holes that go through the foundation. But in order to get that, you need the awesome shop and you need to get tickets. So I want to get those pipe holes. I also want to get the conveyor holes as well. And what we could do is make some DNA capsules in order to get more tickets. Also want to add in 2 of these so we can overclock this to 120 per minute. That way we could do 8 on one side. Remember, each coal generator needs 15 coal per minute. So 15 times 8 is 120. I think that's right. 15 times 8. Yeah. And let's also put our other miner up here. So yeah, this one produces 120. So it doesn't need to be clocked. Although we could clock it, but we don't have the belt. We don't have the Mark III belt that does 240. So we'd just be wasting a power shard and electricity if we tried to overclock it to 240. So yeah, we won't do that. And I also brought power from our starter factory over here as well. So now we can power up our that way we're able to power up our miners and also our water extractors. So I actually want to bring the power to our water extractors. We'll also want to bring the power to the actual coal generators themselves. All right, so we got the power down there to our extractors. I'm not going to connect them up yet because I want to get the coal prepared. And I also want to get the conveyor holes and all of that good stuff up there. So yeah, let's go ahead and I want to make some DNA capsules. We got a lot of like spitter remains, hog remains, and stuff like that to make these DNA capsules. And then you can feed them into the awesome sink and you could get some points. Another thing you could do is explore more around. There's these like turbo engines that you can find. And you can also feed those into the awesome sink and they'll give you tons. They'll give you tons of friggin' sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, those turbo motors will give you tons of awesome sink coupons. Oh, there's geysers here, which means geothermal power once we unlock it. Oh, shit. Yep, nope. Jump, for fuck's sake! Turbo motors. Sorry, I don't have the time to show you where I found those. I got shit attacking me. Oh, fuck. Jump, for fuck's sake. Come on. Jesus Christ, man. All right, I'm going to make a rough guesstimation on where we found those turbo motors. So it was definitely in this swampy area, right? So I would say you need to... And it's dangerous because you got those spidery guys. I think it was... I do think the one that we got where the turbo motors are was right here in this area. All right, we got 7 turbo motors, so let's we don't need turbo motors at all right now, so we'll just throw them in the awesome sink. And we'll see the coupons. Yep, 30, 37, 43, 47, 51. We got 57 coupons just from that. And then also we got all these like remains, right, that we can make into protein and into DNA capsules. So we just need the alien protein for that, and we got tons of hog protein. Now we can make the DNA capsules. All right, let's see how much coupons we get with those DNA capsules. Here we go. Not as much as we got with those turbo motors. And I want to keep the oscillators. Where are they? Right here. I want to actually keep these. Because if we go to the MAM here. We can use the oscillators to unlock the vehicle. So I'm actually going to save them for now. So what I want to do is next to the awesome sink is get the awesome shop. So this is where you can buy cosmetic stuff. So yeah, you could get the car, you could get music, all this stuff. But for now, what I want is not parts, equipment. Oh, you could get a Nautilus. But I don't want that. You could get ladders, which would be really nice. You could get all this cosmetic stuff. You could get different walls. You get different foundations. You get these half foundations. You could get different paints. You could get patterns, which we might get the patterns for sure once we start building roads and stuff. We can also get a light control panel, indoor lighting. But what I'm looking for is this. I want the conveyor lift floor hole. So we'll add that to cart. The ceiling mount is really nice. So we'll add that to cart. The conveyor hole wall hold, that's also nice. So we'll get that. The wall power, that's nice as well. So we'll get that. Oh, we have to research the power poles Mark II if we want the Mark II thingies. And then we also want the pipeline floor there. And the clean pipeline as well. And I mean, we got tons of coupon. Well, we don't have coupons yet. What we need to do is get our coupons out of the awesome sink. And now we got coupons to spend. Oh, you can also get asphalt foundation's actually pretty nice. So we'll get that as well as the concrete. Well, we'll think about getting these other patterns as well. You can also get a concrete wall if you want that. Architecture stuff. You could get like different catwalks, an elevator at some point. We might get these road barriers later. And you could get gates. You could get conveyor walls. So you can have like 3 conveyors in a wall. Foundation stairs. This would actually be nice. So let's get those. Ooh, the pipeline wall attachment. That would be good. I might get the display signs later. All right, we bought all that stuff.
All fixed.
Okay, so now that we have, so if we go to Q now, we go to, should be under logistics. Yeah, so now we have the conveyor holes. So I'm going to put that as 8 actually instead of the constructor. And we're going to start putting holes next to these. These are where the coal is going to come up. All right, and then I want to switch it to our pipe, and we'll put the pipe hole at 6. We also have clean pipe. I'm going to have that be 1. And actually, before we do that, I'm gonna go back to the belts and get the belts. I want all these to be Mark IIs. Wait, do they need to be Mark IIs? I don't think they all need to be Mark IIs, actually. Yeah, they can actually just be Mark 1s. So we'll save up on reinforced plate. Okay, now we can do the pipe holes. Shut your pipe hole. And we're just going to make sure they're next to that. Next to that. Yeah, this one's not aligned. We want to keep them in line with the conveyors is what we want. All right, and you know, speaking about customization, what you can do is press the X button and you can see there's different swatches you can use, or you can do a custom swatch. So we've been doing, so you can choose other swatch you want or like a different swatch. So what you could do is just click on this. And then you should be able to just change the swatch on your, on these generators. So that's one way you can customize things as well. And so like what you could do is go to X as well. You could do a custom swatch. Go back. And then this is where materials are as well, right? So those materials that we bought, this is where you can change out the asphalt foundation, concrete foundation, or the fix-it foundation. And then you can edit the swatch. So like if you wanted a custom one for water, maybe you can make like a blue, bright blue there. And then you can use your custom swatch there for your water pipes. That way it's clear that it's water. Or you could do just, you know, pure black. And switch these out so that they're pure black to show that they're supposed to have coal going into them. Kind of hard to see when it's night now, but it's there. All right, cool. Oh, you know what we need to do is we need to add our pipes in here. And just like with the belts, you can change out the mode by the R button. I usually like to try to do the straight. But if straight doesn't work, you could do auto. And sometimes horizontal to vertical works for these. So do that. Okay, there we go. We got the water set up. And we got the coal set up, so the generators are good to go. Now, one thing you could do, but I caution you right now, is to you could place down power poles if you want. But I caution you because you don't want to connect these yet until you get the water and coal being fed into these. So you want to hold off on connecting the poles yet. Otherwise, they're just gonna go idle and constantly, and they're gonna go idle and then active, idle, and active over and over again, and it's really annoying. But so yeah, usually the rule of thumb is to just wait until you got enough water and coal fed into the machines, and then switch on the power, then start connecting things together. So that's what we're gonna do. And then also remember to connect both generators together. Unlike the bio-burners that I didn't connect them together, and instead of making 240 megawatts, I was making only 75 and scratching my head wondering why that was. All right, so I'm just replacing these old pipes that we have with our newer pipes that are blue and tell us it's water. And I'm going to make our water extractors blue because water's blue, so why not? Actually, water's clear. It's not blue. I don't actually remember there being rain in the game. That's actually kind of... I think that's new as well. Okay, so I goofed a little bit. So you can see we're kind of misaligned here with the pipes. We'll see how this works. Hopefully it'll work out. So we should be able to just put this up now. So we need a hole. We need our hole again. And maybe we can get this. Yeah. Put a hole there. And put a hole there. And because this is clearly more than 20 meters, I can tell because we have 4 of these. Well, that's 16. So we may need a pump. But let's be on the safe side and get a pump going. Why not? There we go. So yeah, that way we know it'll be able to come up through here. Come up through the floor here. I don't know if we could put a T-junction right here. Yeah, we could put one right here. Another one here. Ah, that works. I mean, it's gonna look a little strange, but and then I'm also gonna just add a pump here. That there. All right, that's fine. Yeah. That's okay, right? It's not, doesn't need to be straight. And we want a power pole over here to power our pumps. And then we want to bring our power over here to the water extractors. Then we'll connect that there. Of course we don't. Of course we don't. So we may actually need to go back, shut down our factory. So since I haven't dismantled those other burners, I'm wondering if I could just get some biofuel, right, and get those other burners running again. See if that's gonna be enough electricity to get those water extractors. Okay, so now that we fixed our biofuel burners, we'll probably wait until everything's built on the coal power plant before we try starting it up. Okay, we're back at the coal plant. Just want to start adding the belts here. I do think it might be a good idea to put a buffer here, so like get just a couple containers. And we want to make sure we're using the Mark IIs. And then I think you can use the... Yeah, we can do it like that, I believe. Sure we're using the Mark II. We also want to make sure we're using the Mark II conveyor lift as well. Anything with this one? Reaches the floor here. Just like that. All right, so now we know where our splitters should go. Conveyor belt too long. Okay, so now we just need we're gonna use the Mark I lift because again, remember since we're splitting now, the highest number of these are gonna be is 60. The highest this is going to be is 60. So we can use our Mark I belt or lift now instead of the Mark II. We use the Mark II, we're just wasting resources, but we'll use the Mark IIs later once we are able to upgrade our miners. Because if we upgrade our miners, then we essentially double our coal production output. So now we just need to bring these splitters all the way down the row here, and I'll come back when all that's done. Okay, this side is completed. Now all we have to do is just do the other side and start turning things on, see what happens. Another thing I realized you could just do is bring the conveyor lifts down and then just do that for the splitters. I'll align the splitters for you. You'll have to redo the lifts, but at least it's easier than how I was doing it before with the nudge. But you know, you live, you learn. All right, we just need to put the lifts up here, and this side will be done. Okay, so before I turn this on, I want to go back to the main base. I want to disconnect. I want to disconnect the power here, because that pole up there is connected to our base, but we're disconnected right now. So I want to put another pole here. Connect that. And we'll connect our miners together. And I actually want to let our miners run first before we let the water extractors run, just so we can, you know, start filling up the buffers and everything. So that's what I'll do. So let's go back to the base and connect the power back. Okay, we're back at base here. Looks like these are still up and running. Looks like we're all full up here, which is good. Looks like we may need more leaves. But how much do we have in our buffer right now? Yeah. Let's just get some more leaves and wood. We don't have anything in that buffer, but are we getting... No, we're not even close to getting full here. Oh, we got 61 accumulated up in here and 16 in here. All right, let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's go ahead and hook up the main base's power, at least to the miners here. All right, we should be getting coal if everything was hooked up properly. I don't see any coal coming in. Oh, because I disconnected these. That makes sense. All right, now the coal is going up through the conveyor lifts, up into the machines, hopefully, or the coal generators, actually. So you can kind of get a good idea how the manifold works. So you can see we got full on the far left there, then we got half, and then we got half again, and we got half again. So that's kind of how the manifold balancing works. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the water, all but like these last two machines. Actually, this one just got filled up, so we can turn on the water now and hope we don't blow a fuse. So far, so good. Do we have water down here, at least? Yep. Why aren't these working? Oh, there we go. All right, pumps are working. We are pumping. Just waiting for all these to get full of water before we start turning the machines on. We could actually probably start these up, actually. Here we go. Our first coal generators are beginning to generate electricity for us. Still at 100 in the coal. That's good. Now we're producing at capacity. We're producing 1.2 megawatts. Our capacity is 1.74 megawatts. Actually, like these machines at the end here are the ones I'm worried about. Yeah, see, we're losing coal already. Oh shoot, we're already going idle because we don't have enough water. Oh no, are we limited by we can't put, oh shoot. Yeah, so we can't put more than yeah, I know what the problem is. Because those pipes can only sustain 300, or the flow rate can be 300. It's like the belts, right? So times 45, that's 360, and these pipes can only do 300. So that's the problem. Our pipes we're trying to push too much through the pipes, and it can't do that. So, and that's my bad for miscalculating that. Okay, so what we want to do is just disconnect this one for now. So they're not going to do anything. And then we need to shut down some of these coal, unfortunately. So we'll shut down 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay, so what we need to do in order to fix this. Okay, so now since these are only doing 240 per minute, so now you gotta, let's go back here. So now we gotta do 240 divided by 45, which is about, that can only handle 5 machines. Dang it. I don't know how I goofed this one up so hard. Well, that's okay, because it's only going to 4 machines right now. So we're okay there. Now that you should be getting plenty of water now. I guess when you connect them up to lines, they just run. Okay, there we go. Now we should start seeing the water, but we still need to adjust those water extractors to do only 75%. Gotta underclock them. Okay, so both of these are doing 180. That doesn't seem right. No, that seems right, because so yeah, let's do 180 divided by 45. That's 4. Okay, so yeah, that'll work. That should be exactly what they need. Well, I totally forgot that the pipes only, like the Mark 1 pipes, can only do 300 cubic meters a second. I mean, a minute. So that's my B. I don't understand how both of these machines can be full of water and then this one isn't. I just wanted coal power. Okay, I think I have a potential fix for this. So let's disconnect these. And let's let the pipes fill first, because I think that's the problem here. Gotta let the pipes fill. Let everything fill up here. The pipes, the machines, everything. So let's just give this a couple minutes. And I guess while you let those fill up, let's make the other 2 extractors that we need. Also been playing this game for a while, so I've been doing the recording for a while, so I'm starting to get tired. And yeah, I mean, that was a silly mistake. That's the reason why people watch walkthroughs like that, so they don't make silly mistakes like that. And here I am making a walkthrough, making these silly mistakes. I make the silly mistakes so you guys don't have to. That's what I'm about. Okay, I think we can at least hook these up, these first 4 up, now that water's been filled completely. So we'll give that a try. And we'll keep an eye on the water. So we'll let that run while we try to fix this water extraction. Holy crap, finally. It's a complicated game, man. It's a very complicated game. So I hope I'm making somebody's life out there a little easier. Because I sure as hell ain't. making my life easier. Okay, let me do it like this. We'll put a junction, put it here, but we want to nudge this down. We'll nudge it down like that. We'll do the same thing for these other ones. Oh, hopefully this works. I like our little spaghetti pipe thing going on. Okay, I think we're ready to turn on these other water extractors. I don't know why this one's spinning or anything. Okay, water extractors are turned on for the last 4. All right, we're 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. Water's all full. All right, we just want to make sure water's all full in these. Yeah, the pipes are still filling up, so we got to make sure the pipes and the machines are full. I think the machines are still full, but we need to make sure the pipes are full. That'll take a few minutes to do. So we could, while that we're waiting on that, we could do a little cosmetic stuff. Okay, are our pipes filled? I think so. I think we're good to go. At least it's starting to look like, you know, an actual building. And, you know, you could definitely do the customization again and then do the swatches. There we go. All 16 generators running once again. Hopefully this time more consistently and we don't have to worry about water. I'm just going to keep my eye on it a little bit for a little while. So one thing that's concerning me now is we're not keeping 100% coal now that everything's running. See, we're at 100 there, which is good. We're 100 here, which is good. 100 here. We're 100 here. And then, yeah. Down to 90. Down to 80. 78 there. And then 85. So now, let me just double check my calculations. So it shouldn't have to be all 120. But yeah, now it's a little bit smoother now. Yeah, now it's a lot smoother. All right, I'm very paranoid, so I want to double check up here again. Sure everything's 100%. Or make sure that it'll always be 100%. Oh my god, why are we down to 50? I mean, I guess another thing we could do is just cut power to these. Let them fill up again. Give it a couple minutes to fill up again. Yeah, now that everything is pretty much running now, we'll just wait. Okay, it looks like those other coal generators are finally full of coal again, so hopefully they will always stay full and they will always be 100%. Yeah, looks like that did the trick. Everything's still smooth here on the belts. It's a good sign, which means we hit our numbers exactly. One can hope. It does seem to be getting a little bit backed up, so we'll see. Should be all right. Yep, everything's at 100% now. It feels good, especially after that really big mistake that I had. Let that be a lesson to you. The pipes can only do 300 cubic meters of water per minute. That is the Mark 1 pipes. So if you go above that, you have to split it up like I did here, which kind of causes a mess, but you know, until we can unlock the Mark 2 belts, I mean Mark 2 pipes, this is just what we got to work with for now. So yeah, maybe we could come back here, clean this up a little bit. We could probably also well, I'll probably also expand this out a little bit, make 16 more generators. We'll kind of like section them off, and we'll be able to generate even more power, because I think we're definitely gonna need more power. Yeah, but anyways, that is coal power. Probably could be a little bit prettier, yeah. But the reason why it's not like super pretty is I think we'll want to expand it in the future, so we're gonna keep it like this for now. It's pretty in the sense that we got it all walled off and everything, so definitely took us a while to get this all built up, but we did it. We got coal power running, and that should give us at least 1.2 gigawatts now. Yeah, we got 1.2, and then with our burners, we can get 1.7 megawatts. I mean 1.7 gigawatts. So we don't need to worry about power for a little while, and now we'll be able to do steel processing in the next episode. And hopefully we don't have to come back here other than to upgrade it. Hopefully everything works smoothly now, and we don't need to worry about like if we have enough water or anything. And you know, again, let this be a lesson to you. Just make sure your machines get full, and if not, just like cut power to them, let them fill up again. And then once they fill up again, turn them back on, and they should work 100%. Yeah, these don't seem like they're backing up. I think we're fine. All right, well, that will do it for this episode. We got the coal power plant up. We're making 1.2 gigawatts out of it with a little bit extra from our burner factory, our biofuel burner including with our biofuel power plant. So we're making almost 1.8 gigawatts with that, and we'll probably keep that biofuel burner power plant as well, just in case like this goes down or something. But I think we got all the kinks ironed out, so this should pretty much run indefinitely. The only reason why we'd have to come back here is so we can expand it. We'll probably add another 16 generators to this, especially once we get like the Mark 3 belts and pipes and the Mark 2 pipes. We could definitely come back, clean things up a little bit, and also make the cosmetics a little bit nicer, because you know, it's essentially a gray box with a red stripe through it, so not super creative, but it does the job. You know, at least we enclosed it, and you know, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, and also remember to subscribe. Subscribing not only helps me out, but it also helps you out when new content is available, such as new Satisfactory episodes of our walkthrough series, where I walk you through beating the whole game. So again, thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.